Hi, and welcome to this Odoo lesson. Almost everyone has heard about large corporate events, but what many people forget is that small and medium-sized companies host events too. For a growing company like Stealthy Wood, events are key to reach new customers and sell products. They usually require help from a third party for things such as ticketing or reporting, but you won't have to hire help with Odoo. Thanks to the Odoo Events app, you can organize your own events simply and quickly. In this lesson, I'll look at the basics before creating an event from scratch, and I'll look at how I can manage my events. Creating them is quite simple, and I'll also pay attention to how I can schedule automatic emails or even have an overview of my attendees. So let's dive in. All right, so here I am on my database. Let's go straight to the events application. Once we're here, we're going to go to configuration settings and activate all of the options that you're going to see underneath the registration section right here. Okay, so I activated tickets, online ticketing, and questions. Now, for some of these ticket options, you may need to have an additional module. For example, for online ticketing, you do need to have the e-commerce module. Okay, they go hand in hand. So just letting you know. Now go ahead and save these options, and then we're going to jump back to our dashboard and just dive straight in and create a new event by clicking on the Create button. Okay, and of course, the first thing we're going to need is an awesome event name. So I'm going to go ahead and say handmade furniture exhibition. Wow, great name. Then we're going to have a website menu option. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but I do talk about it in another video, so be sure you check it out. Okay, and then we can choose our website if we're in a multi-website environment. So I have two websites, as you can see, but I'm not going to specify, so I'm going to leave that blank. Then, of course, we have some more information like the organizer, the location, and the company. So right now, the location is our offices in the US. However, it might not be at our offices. It might be in a location that we rented, so I can change that right here. We have a responsible as well, and a start date and an end date, which we need to set. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, I know that we need to set this because the line is in bold, as you'll see right here. So let's go ahead and say it starts November 30th at 3 o'clock. All right, and it's going to end on December 1st at 2 a.m. So it goes pretty late. And then we're going to apply, and I'm going to change the time zone as well because since we're having this event at our US offices, I should probably not leave the time zone as Europe, Brussels. So let's go ahead and say US Pacific. And then I'm also going to add a category. So let's say exhibition. And I can even add a Twitter hashtag if I want my attendees to know what to hashtag during the event or before or after the event. So I'm going to go ahead and say SW furniture is the best. This maybe isn't the best hashtag, but I can always edit it later. Now, we can also choose our minimum and maximum amount of attendees. I'm not going to choose a minimum. So you could say, for example, if you don't have at least 100 attendees, then the event will be canceled. But I don't mind. I could have 1,000 attendees or only one. The show must go on. All right, I'm not going to set a maximum amount of attendees either, but of course, if it's limited, so for example, if you have a limited space in the building, then you might want to set that number here. But for me, it's unlimited. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of ticket types. So the first one is going to be general admission. So I'm just going to say Gen here, keep it simple. That's going to be free. Okay, I want as many people to come as are interested in my handmade furniture. But I'm also going to have a VIP ticket. So let's say we're going to have a concert after the event and only the VIP attendees can go. So let's make the price of this $10. Okay, or let's crank it up a bit. Let's say $20. All right, and then I can also select a maximum amount of attendees for this ticket type. So I'm going to say 50. All right, and I could do the same for my general admission, but I'm not going to. If it's 0 here, that means that it's unlimited. All right, Now we have a few other tabs. We have our communication tab, which I'll talk about a little bit later on, so don't worry. And then we also have our questions tab. So let's imagine that I'm going to offer my attendees some food, and I want to know if they're either vegetarian or meat eaters. So I'm going to go ahead and add a question. Food, question mark. Again, I can edit this later. And then I'm going to ask each attendee. So I'm going to select this box, and I have my answers. So vegetarian or meat. We add a line, meat, and then we're going to click on Save and Close. All right, so far this looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Once I do that, it will automatically be confirmed. Okay, so I'm going to click on Save, and let's go ahead and publish this on our website. So I'm going to click on the Go to Website button. All right, I'm going to be redirected to the website, and I'm going to see just a basic page that has a theme that I selected for my website. Now we do go into detail about how to design your web pages, so be sure you check out the website videos. They're really cool. All right, so here I just have my basic page for this event. And now I'm actually, well, before I register for this event, as if I was a prospective attendee, I'm going to first publish it. So I have to do that by clicking on this button at the top. Okay. Whoops, make sure it's published. And then we're going to go ahead and register. So I'm going to click on tickets here. Now I have my choice between the VIP ticket and the general admission ticket. I'm going to go ahead and select one, general admission, and click on register. Now here, of course, I need to give some information, some basic information, such as my name. So let's go ahead and say Amy Caroline, my email. And I can also add my phone number, but as you can see, I made that optional. And then I have my question here, food. I'm going to say meat, and then click on continue. All right, once I do that, I'm going to be redirected to a confirmation page where I have the option to add this to my calendar right away. So my Google Calendar or my Outlook calendar. I can do that by clicking on one of these smart buttons. Okay, I also have some basic information about the event, the start date, the end date. I have the address here on the right. Okay, and then I have my ticket information. So the information that I gave, my name, my email, my phone number, and I also have my ticket reference on the right as well, which could be important, especially if my attendee needs to contact me about their tickets, if they have any questions, something like this. So now that I've seen how I can register for this event, let's go ahead and see how we can manage our attendees. So we're going to go back to our main dashboard and then to the events application. Okay, and once we're on the events application, we're going to have an overview of all of our events. And I'm going to see my event that I just created, Handmade Furniture Exhibition. And now I have one expected attendee and one confirmed attendee. It's the same person because Amy Caroline is expected and also confirmed. Okay, but if I click on the event itself, I'm going to be able to see more information about these attendees. If I click on this button right here, okay, I will have a full list of my attendees, so I can see this in the Kanban view or the list view, whatever you prefer. You have some basic information here, when this was created, the contact, attendee name, email, what event they registered for, which we also have that in the filter above. Okay, and if they're expected. So right now I have this filter set, but I can remove this and I can always add some other filters if they're confirmed, if they're unconfirmed, if they actually attended the event. So if it is after the event is over. Okay, registration date, attended date. I can also group by some information as well, such as ticket type or status. So as I only have one attendee at the moment, I'm only seeing the one who's confirmed. All right, I can remove everything to see all of the attendees to all of my events. And of course, I can group by event this way, or even ticket type, whatever I would like to do. That's super easy to manage my attendees. I can even say on the right here, if they would like to cancel the registration, I can see that they attended the event, but be careful with this option. If I click on this before the event has actually started, I'm going to get this pop-up that will say that I must wait until the event starting day before doing this action. All right, and in this case, I have a check mark for the attendee who is confirmed. All right, so I have a lot of information here. But now that we've seen how to manage our attendees, we also want to be sure that they don't forget about our event. So let's go back to our events dashboard. We're just going to go to our event template, okay? And we're going to go back down to that communication tab that I skipped over before. So I'm going to click here and, of course, edit. Now, this is where I have the option to set up some reminder emails or even reminder SMSs, okay? And it's super cool. All you have to do is add a line. You can choose a template that already exists. So there are some that already exist with Odoo, or you can create a new one on the fly. When you create an edit, here you can add some plain text or also some code, and then you have some advanced options here as well. Now, the templates that Odoo has already created for you are populated with code, and it's super cool. So for example, I will go to my reminder email here. And as you can see, I have this set to send 10 days before the event. All right, so we have the body of this message populated with code. And it's super cool because let's imagine that even though the attendee has received this email 10 days before the event, if they open it 7 days before the event, the email automatically updates and it will say, hey, Amy, Caroline, don't forget about this event that's going to be happening in 1 week. Okay, so that's something that's really neat. I definitely recommend taking advantage of this. And you have the same with your SMSs. So to send an SMS, instead of mail here, I'm going to select SMS. Then I'll be able to choose my SMS template. And some that already exist are populated with code. And of course, you can do that yourself, or you can add plain text. So you have a lot of options here. Now, don't forget that for your SMSs, this will use credit. And you'll see down below and how many SMSs these characters will use. Okay, so let's go ahead and discard this for now. Okay, and something else that I want to go over before the end of this awesome video is the reporting option you have with Odoo. So we're going to go to reporting. And of course, we have different options. We have our events, our attendees, our questions even. Okay, so let's select events, for example. Once we're looking at the report, we're going to see all of our events. We can change the measures. Okay, so I can select as many as I would like. Okay, again, we have our filters at the top and we can group by certain things. We can even check for certain time ranges. So we really have a full view of what's going on with our events. Now, something else I also want to point out here, for available seats, if it's 0, could mean that your event is maxed out, but it also could mean that you didn't set a maximum amount of seats. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have any available. So for example, handmade furniture exhibition. As you saw, I did not set a maximum amount of available seats, and so it says 0 here. Never fear, that's normal. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.